Hey mamas, Ayo here. Today we're exploring yoga poses that can help with symptom relief for pregnancy symptoms. This video is all about the mind, so we'll be exploring yoga poses you can take for tackling fatigue, fear, sleep challenges, and more. As always, check with your doctor, make sure that you're approved for practice, and then let's jump on in and tackle those symptoms together.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll start out today standing on the mat. You may see that I have a bunch of props around, but these are all pretty much household items. So you're welcome to have a couple blankets nearby or a pillow or a cushion just to help you support yourself and modify the pose in a way that's right for your body. There's 5 symptoms that we'll be tackling today, and I've just selected 1 or 2 yoga practices that might be able to provide relief for each of those symptoms. Now, the first one we're tackling, again, the theme of this video is all about the mind. So the first one is fear and doubt. Sometimes in pregnancy, we can be fearful about so many different things, about is the pregnancy developing normally, or will we be good moms, or will we be able to, step up and handle birth in the way that we're hoping or dreaming, or whatever it is. Everyone has kind of their personal story. So we'll start out with how do we tackle fear and doubt through yoga poses. And these following three poses kind of give us a sense of our own power and confidence. It helps restore us to the place where we were at before, or maybe bring us forward to the place where we'd like to be. The first pose is Warrior One. Let's start out facing the top of our mat. You can step your right foot forward and you can step your left foot back. Now, classic Warrior One is kind of a very narrow pose with hips facing the front right foot. In pregnancy, we modify. So it's a slightly shorter pose. My right foot is stepping right, left foot is stepping left, still bending that front right knee. You could come as deep as a nice 90-degree angle. For me, that doesn't feel so hot on my back right now because I'm rocking month 9. So I'm gonna take a gentler angle here. And we inhale our arms up. And as we exhale, we just drop our shoulders and we're breathing here. If you find your balance is quite steady, then you can lift your eyes, look up, reach up. And we're just gonna hold and breathe for 3. And breathing 2. Now 1 more full breath in. And with the exhale, we open up to our second pose for tackling fear and doubt, which is Warrior Two. In Warrior Two, our shoulders are down and away from our ears. Our fingers are long, reaching and extending outward, and that front right knee is still bent. Looking fiercely, yet softening your facial muscles over that front right finger, we breathe for 3. And breathing 2, feeling your power rise up. 1 more full deep breath in. And with the exhale, you can release the hands. We're gonna lengthen the right leg and just set up Warrior One on the second side. So that means the right foot is turning in and the left foot is turning out. Our hips are now turning to face that front left foot. And we bend our front left knee. Setting up our Warrior One, inhale, sweep arms and eyes up. Exhale, release the head. Again, if your balance allows you to do so. Breathing here, front left knee can be as bent as you like. For 3. And breathing 2. 1 more full breath in. With the exhale, let's open your arms to the side to shoulder height. Shoulders are rolled back, fingers are extended, front left knee is bent, and we breathe. 3. Looking over those front left fingers, feeling your power, your strength. Breathing 2. Now 1 more full deep breath in. And with the exhale, release the hands, lengthen that left leg, and you can scooch your feet back together. Now I will note that today's practice, today's video, it's kind of a combination of explanation and experiential practice. I want us to understand what we're doing, but also to be able to feel it in our bodies, to kind of gain that sense of muscle memory. So we don't want to hold these poses too long. We don't want to fatigue ourselves. However, rather than holding for 3 or 4 breaths, you're welcome to even hold the pose for a few minutes in your own practice. So the third and final pose that can really help us reclaim and reconnect to our strength and our power to fight fear, to fight doubt, is downward facing dog. So you can start out on hands and on knees. We're just kind of placing your knees here. Hands on the mat, we're spreading fingers wide, and we're tucking toes under. As we inhale, let's lengthen through the legs, and exhale, ground your heels, pressing your hips away from your hands as you breathe. Now I should note, and I've mentioned in other little practice videos, that down dog can also be done. A prenatal variation is down dog on a chair or down dog at a wall. So if down dog on a mat isn't your speed today, turn to the nearest chair or vertical surface. Press your hands away from your hips, release your upper body, and simply breathe with me here. Another 3, pressing the mat or pressing the wall away. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath. As you inhale, begin walking your feet closer to your hands, stand tall, and exhale, roll your shoulders back and down. So hopefully we just gave like a 1-2 punch to that fear, to that doubt. What happens, symptom number 2 for this video, if we're experiencing fatigue, which is so common? Oh my gosh, it's invisible work. Our body is furiously hard at work creating another life and producing organs and pumping blood, and sometimes we can just feel so exhausted. So I've picked out 2 poses depending on how you want to tackle the situation. The first pose is if you want to build energy, you just gotta kind of keep riding through your day. And the second pose is if you have the time, the space, and ability to just release into the fatigue and give yourself a proper rest. So if you're seeking that, like, okay, what can we do to build energy in our body? You can see I'm standing here on my knees on the mat. I'm kneeling. My knees are a touch wider than hips distance apart, and I place my hands on my low back so that the heel of my hand is on the low back, but my fingers are actually resting on the tops of my glutes. Rolling shoulders back and down, I take a full breath in, opening my chest. And if it feels okay for your head and neck, on the exhale, release and look up. Breathing here, maybe if you'd like to deepen, pressing into a fuller expression of what we call supported camel, with hips forward, with shoulders back. Breathing here, letting energy rise through your body. For another 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath. Inhale, stand tall on those knees, align shoulders over hips over knees, and exhale, you can come to sit down on the mat. Now I mentioned that there's a second way to deal with fatigue, which is, hey, my body's really tired. Maybe I can give it an opportunity to rest. And this one I love. As many opportunities as we have to rest in pregnancy, it's good. Take advantage. So the next pose that we take is Reclined Butterfly. Now, if you're in your second half of the pregnancy, say week 20 or onward, rather than laying flat on your back, you may just want to take a few blankets or a pillow and just kind of prop them up to create a sort of ramp. So that way your shoulders are above your hips. Let's see, something like that. You could even put a block underneath. I'm just kind of improvising tonight. We're gonna lay down on our back. So the small of our back, there we go, is at the start of the blanket, the bolster, whatever you chose. There we go. I'm even gonna, let's see. Oh, that's so good. I just put a block under the pillow and it created a delicious angle. So the pose, in case you can't already tell, is Reclined Butterfly. My feet are together, my knees are apart. You can rest your hands on your tummy, and we're just breathing here, inching the blanket more back underneath my low back to provide more support. In case any of you are feeling like low back discomfort here, we want the blanket or the surface to really support the arch under the small of your back so that you can fully release into this pose without any discomfort. So closing your eyes, breathing here in your reclined butterfly. This is always a sweet place to kind of give yourself a little belly rub as well and connect with your baby. Breathing deeply with me. I want to start the count from 10 because this pose just feels so good. But we'll just breathe here for 4. And breathing 3. For 2. And breathing 1. And I don't want to skip ahead, but I will mention that anyone who's experiencing sleep challenges, this is a really sweet pose just to take a little bit of reclined relaxation in this reclined butterfly. So continuing on to symptom number 3, we can allow one knee to come atop another. We're rolling onto our sides, using our hands to prop us back up to a seated position. And we're gonna get ready to tackle anxiety. What happens if we are dealing with an anxious mind? So you can sit on a blanket, you can sit on a block, sit on whatever feels good. I'm gonna prop my sit bones up right here. All right, and there's a few different things that we can do for anxiety, but what I recommend, what I find most beneficial is to pair some sort of breath work or meditation with some sort of physical pose called an asana. So what we'll do today is I'll guide us through a type of breath work called bee's breath or breath of bee. And then from there, once we start to maybe feel ourselves releasing a touch of that anxiety, then it will allow us to release into a physical pose, which is child's pose. That's the one I've chosen today. So what do we do for bee's breath? Or yeah, breath of bee's breath. I started thinking about like a bee's actual breath. Anyway, tangent. So we're sitting here, and for bee's breath, we draw a full breath in through our nose. And then when we exhale, you can keep your lips lightly closed, and we're just gonna make a sound of mm, like the letter M. So let's try that together. We're taking a deep breath in, and we're exhaling And you can take your fingers and actually place them over your ears. So we have this little bit of cartilage here by the entrance to our ear, and we're just gonna close that. And let's try together 6 times this bee's breath. Breathing in. And in. Gently releasing your hands from your ears, rolling your shoulders down away from your earlobes. Let's just take another breath or two. And you may notice a quieting and a calm in your heart, in your chest, in your mind. If you ever feel like you're in a place with too much noise, whether it's external noise around you, or whether it's internal, like the noise of your thoughts, of your minds, of, that anxious stream of consciousness that sometimes doesn't stop, Bee's breath is a really nice way to just say, okay, we're gonna take a pause here and just kind of restart, recenter, refocus. So holding on to that sensation, we'll transition to child's pose. So sitting on your mat, or rather kneeling on your mat, you can separate right knee to the right and left knee to the left. If you have a pillow, a blanket, a bolster, any of that in front of you, sometimes it's nice to just rest it here and have something to rest the chest onto, especially as your tummy grows for third trimester. It creates space for the tummy on the mat and just provides a little bit of lift in the chest. So I'm kneeling here, my knees are open, full breath in. And as I exhale, I'm just gonna gently lower my upper body onto the pillow, onto the blankets, letting my knees slide a bit further out. And I'm breathing here. You can allow your eyes to close. I'm just gonna breathe for 5. And breathing 4. For 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath. And gently bringing your hands by your side, walking your way back to a kneeling or seated position. And you can place those blankets to the side. Now this brings us to our 4th category, our 4th symptom for this video, which is sleep problems. What do you do if you're having trouble falling asleep? And oh my gosh, this is one that I had in 1st trimester. This is one I have now in 3rd trimester. Oh, the fun of pregnancy insomnia. So, coming to a comfortable cross-legged position. I will say, if you've been trying to fall asleep for a long time, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 50 minutes more, sometimes it is actually helpful to just get out of bed and take care of a small task, not something that's going to energize or stimulate you, but just one small thing around the house or one thing that's on your mind so you feel like you got something done, and then from there to start the following process of release towards sleep. So just like when we're dealing with anxiety, when we're having trouble falling asleep, sometimes doing breath work can be really the right way to go. But rather than Bee's breath, what I recommend is just a slow and full ocean breath, ujjayi breath. So I have a different video explaining what exactly ujjayi is, but for today you can just think about almost that sensation of like fogging up a mirror. Like let's say you just finished showering and you want to fog up the mirror in front of you for whatever reason so you could draw on it or something. And you take a full breath in. It's that audible exhale. We do that with our mouth closed. If you're not exactly sure what I'm talking about, check out the video on ujjayi breath. But for today, we'll just sit here. And of course, if you're trying to fall asleep, you can do this laying down. Our eyes are closed and we're just gonna draw a full breath in and out. It's kind of like sometimes compared to a Darth Vader breath because it's so audible. Breathing in and out. Again, breathing in and out. And as you continue sitting here and breathing here, just gonna add a little bit of a count to this process of our breath, slowly deepening and elongating the breath. This is something you can do for yourself at night. Inhaling 3, 2, and 1. And exhaling 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling 3, 2, and 1. And exhaling 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're of course welcome to continue sitting here, breathing here, or as you lay in bed at night, just continuing to slowly elongate the breath, as long as you feel yourself steadily inhaling and exhaling. We don't want to hold the breath in pregnancy. And then from there, even just transitioning to a touch of meditation, and I'll plug, we have a different video, which is a guided meditation for a sweet and easeful sleep. So that's a really nice one to follow along to. So whether you like guided meditations or just to kind of clear your minds of all thoughts, breath work followed by just a touch of meditation to calm and release the mind is a really nice way to get a sound night's sleep. So that brings us to our fifth and final category today, which is headaches. What do you do about headaches? And there's kind of two different approaches to the subject, two different yoga approaches that I've found to be helpful. The first one, again, is physical practice, which is asana. So resting in a child's pose. And again, we set it up just a moment ago. So, we don't need to do a full setup now, but child's pose was that one where our knees are apart, our blanket or cushions in front of us, and we're just resting, releasing forward, releasing the head down, finding your way into the position in a way that your body can just release, your muscles can release, and just focusing on the way breath moves through you. So even spending several minutes in child's pose is a really nice way to, I guess I would say, approach, counteract, try to ease your way away from any headache that you might be experiencing. And then from there, any pose that promotes deep relaxation. So something that you might enjoy is laying down on your left side. And we can just kind of briefly set that up for kicks tonight. We'll close out the video with a touch of relaxation, whether you're prone to headaches or whether you're just a pregnant mama like me that could benefit from some relaxation. So bringing as many blankets, cushions as suits you, what we'll do is we'll lay down on our left side, and you can place 1 or 2 blankets between your knees. Maybe have a cushion underneath your head. If you have a block or another blanket, you could put it under the small of your back for support. The idea is not only to ease yourself into a side-lying position, but something that doesn't require any strength, any muscles to hold. So you see, I've just rolled a little blanket here under the curve of my tummy. And I'm taking this block here and I'm just placing it kind of flat, just behind my back. So that way I feel kind of sandwiched in place. And we'll just close our eyes, see if you can find your way to a comfortable reclined position, side lying, breathing here, easing away that headache or just welcoming a deep state of release. Maybe it won't be there anymore when we awaken. And we'll just give ourselves 6 to 7 full deep breaths, remembering this sweet sensation of rest and release. One of the kindest things we can do for ourselves. Breathing another 6. And breathing another 5. Breathing another 4. And breathing another 3. Breathing another 2. One more full deep breath here. Please, if you have time today to stay here, please stay here. This is such a healing and restful and beneficial place and space to be. If you do feel ready or needing to bring your practice to a close, you can begin to place your hands on the mat, propping yourself first on your elbows and then walking your hands back toward your body. Joining me in a comfortable cross-legged position, maybe propped up on a block. Resting hands on knees. Let's remember, when it comes to pregnancy and pregnancy symptoms, there's things we can't control. Sometimes these symptoms will just come. These things will be experienced by our body, but that doesn't leave us powerless or helpless with what to do about them. So I really hope that some of these poses, some of these suggestions will provide symptom relief for you. Please let me know in the comments below if they help, or maybe if there's other poses or things that you've tried that you've found to be personally helpful. And just blessing you with a healthy and easeful continuation of your pregnancy. Let's give ourselves just a few breaths here, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. One more full breath in and release. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you mamas. Thank you for your practice and thank you for joining me. Namaste.